couple
for
things
some
in there?
hard stuff, loving tonight.
All right, there you go. You still got some soul in you. I didn't know you picked cotton. I give you props for coming up out of that because I was never around that. So I'll give you nothing but credit for coming up out of that.
What do you imagine that life was like? What do you think was going on back then?
I don't see anything good coming out of it. I see you forcing people, families, kids, women to do something that they didn't want to do, all for the betterment of someone else, and it basically helped build this country. Like, that's a fact. Like,
Where do you get that impression from?
history. So did you get a portion? Did you get a portion of the proceeds?
We got paid and everything. Yeah.
No, I was saying, did you get paid a fair amount for the cotton that you picked and helped building in the industrial complex of all that? Did you get
No,
paid?
I did not. I did
You
not.
didn't. So
no.
you picked cotton for somebody else.
Right.
Okay. All right. I
They
just
were
wanted
the boss. I was the employee.
right.
Just-
Employee.
You're tolerant and you're inclusive if you agree with them. If you don't, if you voted for Trump, if you're not a Hillary lover, you're out.
What do you think of Donald Trump?
Him. Oh God, die. Honestly, tolerance and love and acceptance.
Mostly go off based off what they hear.
What are some things that Trump has done to the gay community that you think is something we should be worried about?
I think everything. I mean, he's pretty much against us. You know, he thinks that we have no rights, that we need to go back to be discriminated and even prosecuted for, just being gay. I think it's...
Where are you seeing that, though? What are some things that he's done to do that?
Well, it's like by taking rights, he actually got rid of some of the... I can't remember exactly now.
What are some things that the Trump administration has done to target the LGBTQ community, and what are some ways we can fight back?
I would say by reversing pretty much everything that has gone on that has brought us forward since the Obama administration. I think that's what's brought us back from there, and what could bring us forward.
What do you mean by reverse? What did you mean by that? Reverse what was done so far?
Oh gosh, I just got...
A lot of people I know who are Trump supporters are gay and are, they do like the pride events, and unfortunately it gets very politicized. Are you seeing similar things?
I absolutely do, because I know a lot of Trump supporters that are gay also, and they just live their life normally like a normal person. They don't go around with assless chaps and leather pants, and they don't make it their identity.
Just like the people who work for me now don't get a portion of the company's money. They get paid for performing a job, but they don't get the portion of the money.
But they can also leave when they want to leave.
And we can leave when we want to leave. But when I was growing up, there was no slavery. Slavery was over with.
There's always been slavery. What are you talking about?
That's not true. And if that's true, why is it that's amazing that you think that. I didn't know you thought that.
Thought what?
So you think when I was growing up under the Jim Crow laws, there was still
You're
slavery.
saying you specifically
Right.
had the right to leave? You specifically
No,
did?
any black can leave.
No.
Then why did every summer my uncles would leave and go to Florida and visit, or New York, or wherever they wanted to hang out for the summer?
Again, are you telling me...
when my father and mother finished high school, they moved up north to Chicago.
And so
It's not just about gay, it's about sexual gay. Everyone on the floats, if you've been watching, they've been all sexual and shimmying and everything, and naked sailors and whatnot. So I think it's more about this sexualized culture, and it's almost kind of sexualizing young children. That's my take on it. I think it's a little too much.
are you telling me that same thing happened for you and other black people? That you made enough money to live and support your family off of picking cotton?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely yes.
All right.
Let me tell you this, too. When I was growing up, and even before I was born, one of my aunts got married. She and her husband, and they were black at the age of space. They bought land, and they got, they were married. They bought land. They had something like 12 or 13 kids, maybe more. Mm-hmm. And their kids never had to work the plantation, even though they lived around it. They bought the land around there. All of their kids went to colleges and universities around the country, mostly black universities at the time, and they became doctors and lawyers and professionals. And this happened all of their children, I'm telling you. This happened under the Jim Crow laws. In my time, blacks were mentally well off than they are today. Most black people today are mentally ill. You could tell
Most
the way they,
people or most black people?
most black people.
Come
You
on,
could
bro.
tell- most blacks today, unlike the days when I was growing up, are mentally ill. They're mentally retarded. And let me show you how.
I just want to be clear. You said most black folks. You said most.
Right, not all,
some.
not all, not all.
some.
Right,
you said
most.
most black folks are mentally ill or retarded.
Yes.
This dude in office, Roy Moore.
And where's your proof that he committed?
Again,
Where's your proof of that? If I were you, I wouldn't say that without any proof. Where's your proof?
say what without proof? He's
That
he's
he's
an
a child
accused. Oh, I'm
molester.
sorry. He's an accused child
okay.
molester. He's
And
an
do you
accused child
believe-
molester.
You believe the women just because they said it?
I believe that you should look into it. I don't. You know what? Let me ask you something.
Do
No, let me ask
believe-
you something.
No, answer that question, then you can ask me something.
Oh yeah, I do.
You
I
believe
do.
the women just because they said it?
I believe that if you have to examine every accuser,
That's
the
not
same.
what I'm asking.
Yep, I sure do.
You. I read that you served in the Army
Yes.
for 6 years.
Yep.
And so how do you personally feel about the black thugs kneeling during the national anthem?
I don't know any
rather
black
than
thugs.
standing, Colin Kaepernick and all the black guys.
I don't know any black thugs.
How do you feel about that as a military man?
I feel like they have a right, because that's what I fought for. That's what every veteran fought for the right for people to peacefully protest in this country.
At work, they can do it at work.
Work starts when the clock starts.
They can do, the clock starts when the national anthem
No,
starts.
work starts when the clock starts.
So they can do it at work. You okay with
work
that?
starts. Works. By the way, just
So
pull out information.
are you okay with them kneeling during this national anthem?
The kneeling was. You know who the kneeling was suggested by? Do you know who it was suggested by?
I don't care.
Dude, I don't
But-
like you, but I like you. Golly, because you say stuff where I'm like, I don't.
Why don't you
Where
like
do you get
me?
this from?
Why don't you like me?
No, I'm sorry. Let me be clear now.
Yeah.
I actually,
You totally like me.
I do. I
Yeah.
do, which is I don't get it. I don't get it with you. But I just want to ask you something.
Because
Let me
I want
ask
black
you this.
people to be strong. I find it hard to believe that women are afraid of quote unquote powerful men because they tend to have the women tend to have an agenda. They want either to be famous as in the entertainment world, or they want to be seen with these men so that they can look important as well. So they want these things to happen.
No, honey. Mm-mm.
Black why
folks.
black people, most blacks are mentally retarded.
Do you see what I just said? But you cannot tell me
Let me tell
how
you
many
why.
white folks.
They are mentally retarded because they're angry. And,
Everybody's angry.
And anger retards the mind.
Everybody is angry.
Everybody is not
Do
angry.
you see how many?
Everybody's
how
not
many?
angry.
What about those white folks that were in Charlottesville twice
Why you
with
keep
tiki
pointing
torches?
out the white people?
Without saying, hey, come and touch me in my private area, that is sexual assault. So the reason why women don't want to speak out, and the same reason why the women that have gotten raped by Bill Cosby didn't come out for 20 years, is because no one would believe them. And now there's almost 60 women that came out on behalf of Bill Cosby.
Would you trust a woman that does not keep her word?
Is that they wind up just taking the money because they don't have enough to fight for it.
Being honest about your word. If a person doesn't keep his or her word, you could never trust that kind of person.
All that is ridiculous. He literally drugged women and raped them. 60 of them that actually came out.
But there's no proof of that.
Since white folks have not had since black folks have not had the same experience in this country as white folks, is that fair to say?
When it comes to blaming others and wanting affirmative action because you're black, whites haven't had those experiences.
They haven't had what experience?
Having civil rights leaders to tell them how to think and act.
I can have a full-on orgy tonight with 8 people. And tomorrow, I don't want to have sex with nobody.
I don't think white folks have ever had a problem with their civil rights as an issue as black folks.
But
That's
the
one.
blacks who are complaining have not had civil rights
Are you
issues.
talking about the people that were complaining that had
All
to
you
carry
guys.
those bags,
Anyone
that got
passed-
whipped,
anyone
that got
passed-
redlined, that any of those kind of discriminatory practices, any of that? So that's not a thing to complain about.
If they paid their bills, they wouldn't have that problem.
Let's go to the phones, bro.
I think so.
Hello, thanks.
Yeah.
What I really would like to know in listening to you, I'm sorry, your first name is Ty?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What is it that you want? May I ask you that? All of this anger and all of this animosity about white people and what we've done, what is it you want from us?
What anger?
That's a good question.
What anger are you talking about?
What do most black people want from white people? They keep accusing them for everything.
No, I just want to make sure that just so we're clear. There's no anger. I'm just stating facts, just so we're clear. What's wanted, I would say, if you're asking me personally, because I can't speak for all black folks, I can't do that. I want acknowledgement of the issues that are in this country. Every day you see something. Every day you see something that is a discrepancy in how we treat each other as human beings.
Okay, thank you so much. Listen, you have to forgive at a certain point and not hold a grudge. You're looking for accountability from the white people. Okay, I agree that slavery, what it was wrong. There's no argument there. 99% of white people would say the same thing. It's over. Move on. But you're looking for, I guess, all of us to get together at a stadium and simultaneously confess our sin? The classic example of forgiveness, and this was what I told the call screener, look what you had an entire nation. The Jewish people made peace with the Egyptians. Why can't you use that as an example? They don't hold any animosity to those people.
When you say 99%, by the way, that's a very high number to say
You're
that
wrong.
99%
You're wrong
of
about that.
You said 99% of white people would say that that slavery and racism is wrong. I can now, if you go online, if you look at
racism.
If you look at the rise in crime,
racism doesn't exist.
See what I mean? There we go. Racism doesn't exist.
It has never existed.
That doesn't mean you could put a drug in my drink and have sex with me while I'm unconscious, because that is rape.
You are famous for hosting the Rose Slut Walk. Love white people?
I love all people.
I didn't ask about all.
And we educate.
Amazing. You came up with this term slut. What was the purpose of using that word, slut?
What happens is that men can go out and be sexually liberated and have a bunch of women, but if a woman does it, there's all these derogatory labels that come with that, which is an extreme form of bullying for us. I would refer to myself as a slut.
Oh.
So if going out on a date with a guy makes me a slut, then that's just what I'm gonna be.
I don't think going out on a date makes you a slut, but having sex with different men makes you a slut. A man should not be having sex with different women.
Why not?
Personally define slut. How do you define it?
I define it as a derogatory word that men and women use against other women to put us down for our sexuality.
And so you want to take the shame out of that word so that when women do these things, they won't feel embarrassed by it?